Well, the NHS Confederation has been arguing for a so-called mini-deal to be struck with the European Union to help the flow of pharmaceuticals and other medical products, even if no overarching agreement has been struck. Earlier, I spoke to the Confederation's International Director, Layla McCay, from Brussels. I started by asking her what she thought when she saw the contents of the Yellowhammer report.
I think that while it still makes you stop and think when you see them written there in black and white, certainly they are the sorts of risks that we've already been anticipating.
I mean, you had been talking about those risks for a very long time, in fact.
Absolutely, and we've been working really closely with the people who are responsible for doing the planning, the Department of Health and Social Care and others, to make sure that these risks are getting addressed. And I think that what we're really keen to think about is, if we have everything in place from a UK perspective, we're still really depending on the EU to ensure that all the plans run smoothly, and that's really a big concern for me.
But you all know that the government keeps saying they're doing all they can to get a deal. If you're now proposing this sort of mini-deal, that suggests you don't trust them.
In order to make sure that both UK and EU patients are not going to suffer as a result of Brexit, it would be really sensible to do a few things in advance to make sure that things will be all right. And people would call it a mini deal. I prefer to think of it more as technical adjustments. The European Commission has already made technical adjustments for fishing and for planes, and if it can do that, then it seems to me that it would only be sensible to do it for something that people care so much about, which is health.
But I suppose the point is, why not leave the government to deal with this? Why, in a sense, are you making this bid today? Because it suggests, as I say, that you either don't trust that the government will deliver, or you are worried about what happens on the 31st of October in terms of risks to patients.
The government has really strong plans of how to protect patients, but as I think we've seen from Yellowhammer and others, it's not just what about our government can deliver. So, for example, one of the aspects I would like to see in terms of a technical adjustment would be that medicines and other medical goods going through the borders are not subject to customs checks for a certain period, and that they're not stuck in these potentially 2-day traffic queues to get across, but they have some kind of expedited route to get in and out of the country. As
things stand at the moment, how confident are you that anyone who needs medicine, anyone who needs treatment after October the 31st will get it?
The plans in place mean it's very likely that anyone who needs treatment in the UK will get it. But it is not 100%, and it can't be, because we don't know all the different things that might happen. I do think that this is a really important issue, the question of health. I mean, it matters to everyone. It's so important. If things go wrong, the ramifications could be huge. And from that perspective, I just think that we need all the precautions that we can possibly take.
Layla McCay, thank you very much for talking to us today.